Imagine, if you will, a world where Nintendo owns everything, even shit they didn't invent, like monster summoning games. Yeah, no, turns out, Pokemon debuted in 1996, and there had been monster summoning games for like almost a decade beforehand. Shin Megami Tensei, hello. But no, the American Patent Office has granted Nintendo a patent on summoning a character and letting it fight another character. So, creature summoning games. Nintendo now owns the patent to that in the US, and it's really stupid. Normally, I think intellectual property law is actually a good thing. Normally, when it's abused like this, it's bullshit. It's not Pokemon, Pokeballs, the world, all the 1,020 something Pokemon, however many there are. The gyms and everything that you do around inside the Pokemon world. Like, yeah, they could own all that. That's all their IP. But the idea that you summon a creature and have it fight another creature on your behalf, Nintendo didn't invent that. Game Freak didn't invent that. But according to the U.S. Patent Office, they did. There's a shout out to GamesFray, is a source I've never used before, but this Florian Muller guy, but he goes into pretty good detail. Nintendo continues to obtain or modify patents to use against Pocket Pair's Palworld game, and to deter others in the industry from competing. Nintendo amended one of its Japanese patents in suit from the Palworld lawsuit in such a way that even Hoyo versus upcoming Honkai Nexus Anima game could be accused of infringing. Possibly Bandai Namco's new Digimon too. Pocket Pair even felt forced to remove a feature from Palworld that it already demoed before Nintendo filed its first patent on gliding. As of 1 minute after midnight today, Nintendo owns U.S. patent 1,409,387. That one is related to the smooth switching of riding objects mechanism. So instantly switching between Pokemon that you're riding around or creatures, monsters that you're riding around. Exactly 1 week ago, September 2nd, 2025, the United States Patent and Trademark Office granted Nintendo another patent, U.S. patent number 12,403,397, covering the fundamental gameplay mechanic of summoning a creature and letting it fight another. The related patent application was filed in March 2023, and has now been granted by the U.S. Patent Office without any objection. There should have been an objection because they did not invent that concept. Like I said, the Megami Tensei series was doing it in '87, I think, was the earliest known version of something like this. The 387 patent that issued today covers a technique that Pocket Pair has recently worked around. So there's no leverage Nintendo gains from that grant. But the 397 patent poses a fundamental threat to creativity and innovation in the game industry. The question is not specific to Palworld, but a large number of games that already have the mechanic, as well as future releases that will have it. So, yeah, if you've ever been interested in Koromon or fuck, I can't remember what it's called, Nexomon, and then there's the cassette beasts. I think pretty much any Palworld. If you've ever been interested in any of these games, I recommend you buy them now. Um, and then Prey, if you buy them digitally, which most of them have been released almost exclusively digitally, but then pray that they don't get removed from your libraries because they could be pulled off of Steam and the Nintendo Shop and the PlayStation Network and wherever you buy your games from. They get pulled from any of them, especially if Nintendo comes out of this. It'll set a precedent. Nintendo's all-you-can-patent approach is enabled by the fact that some patent offices appear to be in a difficult position to find a prior art, which typically exists in the form of other games rather than other patent documents. The industry at large will now have to think about what to do. It could be that some games companies will now step up their patenting activity as well. At some point, companies that lose market share may prioritize patent monetization, either by going out and collecting royalties directly or by assigning their patents to third parties, licensing firms often pejoratively called patent trolls. That will do so. While not patent related, Sony's trademark and copyright infringement lawsuit against Tencent in the Northern District of California also threatens to make the games business more and more litigious, employing lawfare to prevent competitors from releasing or continuing to sell games or to force them to make changes to gameplay. This is the first patent that deals primarily with, like I said, switching, things that you ride. Reminds me a lot. A lot of these images remind me a lot of like switching between the rideable Pokemon and Pokemon Legends Arceus. Which I haven't played in a while. I need to play that again. It was a good game. It's the favorite Pokemon game that I've played in a long time. See if there's any more illustrations. No, there doesn't appear to be. But yeah, here's the this is the 387 patent. This patent, fresh off the press, goes back to an application to which the patent examiner temporarily rejected almost all claims, but Nintendo's lawyer kept fighting for a patent with many claims. For an explanation of the term patent claim and other patent-related keywords, look up our IP lingo dictionary. Simply put, if you sue someone over a patent, it's not the patent as a whole that you use, but one or more claims. And claim one is usually the broadest one and used more often than the others. Essentially, what won the day for the patent was that Nintendo's patent attorney inserted some clarification as to selected such as selected based on selection operation. Yes, sounds like circular logic, but it worked for Nintendo. For Pocket Pair, that patent is not an issue with respect to the current version of Power World, but let's assume they win in Japan and want to bring back the switching of writing objects feature. Then the patent could cause problems in the all-important U.S. market. So this patent is sort of legal pollution of the market environment. And now the 397 patent. Now the other patent, which issued 1 week ago, is not merely annoying but actually shocking. See, this is battle, capture, escape. If you're not looking at the screen, it's essentially like basic stick illustrations of pretty much every monster capture and battle game that's ever been released. Which again predates Pokemon. Sorry, there's illustrations of them, forcing the Pokemon to fight other Pokemon, or the monster, I should say. See, that's the thing, though, is Pokemon has become so ubiquitous that I say it automatically. I should say creature or monster. But you can see the illustrations here, forcing the monster to fight other monsters for you. And then it goes down here into like the programming and all this stuff as part of the patent. This one went very smoothly for Nintendo. Many such patent applications initially face a rejection, at least of some claims, and require some tweaking and persuasion. But the application that led to the 397 patent was filed in March 2023, and the USPTO, that's the United States Patent Office, never raised any concern. It just decided this summer to grant it, and then it issued last week. Let's look at Claim 1 to understand the scope. The numbers in parentheses are just there to be referenced further below. They're not on the patent document. Okay. 1. A non-transitory computer-related storage medium having stored therein a game program. The game program causing a processor of the information processing apparatus to execute. 2. Performing control of moving a player character on a field in a virtual space based on a movement input control. Or movement operation input. My bad. 3. Performing control of causing a sub-character to appear in the field based on first operation input. And 4, when an enemy character is placed at a location where the sub-character is caused to appear, controlling a battle between the sub-character and the enemy character by a first mode in which the battle proceeds based on operation input. And 5, when the enemy character is not placed at the location where the sub-character is caused to appear, starting automatic control of automatically moving the sub-character that has appeared. And 6, performing control of moving the sub-character in a predetermined direction on the field based on a second operation input. And when the enemy character is placed at the location of a designation, controlling a battle between the sub-character and the enemy character by a second mode in which the battle automatically proceeds. So that's in like Scarlet and Violet, and I can't remember if this also happened in Legends Arceus, because again, I haven't played it in a while. But that's where you throw the Pokemon out and it just runs up and the battle happens automatically and you don't have to do anything. So step by step, if a game does all the following, then Nintendo could start an infringement lawsuit. Whether they would win is another question, but it's bad enough that they would have a starting point for it. But anyway, here's an explanation of them in like layman's terms. 1, there must be a PC, console, or other computing device, and the game is stored on a drive or similar storage medium. 2, you can move a character in virtual space. 3, you must be able to summon a character. They call it a sub-character, by which they mean it's not the player character, but, for example, a little monster such as a Pokemon that the player character has at its disposal. Then the logic branches out, with items 4 and 5 being mutually exclusive scenarios before returning again in item 6. Item 4, this is about summoning the sub-character in a place where there already is another character that it will then, when instructed to do so, fight. 5, this alternate scenario is about summoning the sub-character at a position where there is no character to fight immediately. And 6, the final step is about sending the sub-character in a direction and then letting an automatic battle ensue with another character. It is not clear whether this is even needed if one previously executed step 4, where the sub-character will basically be thrown at another character. On July 8th, 2025, the patent examiner decided to grant its patent, and it then took about 2 months to issue, which is normal. Nintendo first had to pay the fee. This patent could be revoked, but it's not easy. The U.S. Patent Office, under its current leadership, makes it increasingly difficult to challenge granted patents. Will Nintendo go out and sue anyone in the U.S. over this? Summon a character and let it fight another patent? We shall see. The mere fact that this patent has been granted is bad news for the video game industry. I tend to agree. We have tried to get access to the Japanese Nintendo vs. Pocket Pair case file again. Last time we obtained a lot of interesting information that way. And then there's a link to another Game Freak article. But the court said that the file was with the judge, thus unavailable for inspection by the general public. It looks as if there are delays in the Japanese proceedings, but we have not obtained a more recent schedule yet. So yeah, like I said, that's a quick breakdown of everything going on. So yes, this is not good. Nintendo is using every dirty trick in the book to in order to try to maintain a monopoly on the creature collector / battle game format, which again is a format that existed before Nintendo and Game Freak made Pokemon. So it's kind of a crock of shit that they could try to pull this off in the first place, but it seems like, with enough lawyering and legalese, you can make almost anything happen. Unfortunate, but, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we get some judges who aren't retarded, and they can, slap down a lot of these frivolous lawsuits whenever Nintendo inevitably files them. Yeah, this is not normally the type of stuff I cover. I've covered video game stuff in the past, but usually on Clown World Chronicles, not in these little solo videos. But this seemed pertinent. And considering the show I have planned for tomorrow morning, I don't... tomorrow morning as of the recording of this video anyway, I don't intend for this to be... I'm not going to waste any time with any stories unrelated to what I'm going to cover tomorrow. So, yeah. Let me know what you think below in the comments, and then be sure to like, and if you're not sub, and follow all my links, and sub to me everywhere. Follow me on X. Check out Clown World Chronicles on this channel on Saturday mornings, and then check out Clown World Gaming if you like to watch gaming. I stream there 3 days a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And yeah, throw me a bone, but don't throw me any lawsuits.